Welcome to the Wander Podcast. I'm your host, Gracie Hins. If you're new here, we're a podcast dedicated to sharing the stories of the people in the outdoor spaces and places that we love, including athletes, creatives, and really anybody that I think has an interesting story. Before we jump into today's episode, if you would also remember to give us a review on Spotify or wherever it is that you're listening, that would be amazing. Those go a long way as a small podcast. Jumping into today's episode, I have a conversation with Sofia Schugar. She is a professional gravel cyclist, splitting her time between Girona, Spain, and San Diego, California. She is a member of the Team Best riding crew in San Diego, which was fun to chat about some of the wild ideas that she has put together with them. And we also talk about how she got into cycling, some of the highs and lows that she's also faced, and just a bunch of other fun little niblets of information throughout the podcast. So without further ado, here's our conversation, and I hope you enjoy it. This is like so casual. It's like whatever the heck we want to talk about, we can talk about. And I don't have like any notes or anything for today.
Okay, that's good. That's good.
Perfect. First question that I ask everybody though is, who are you and what do you spend your time doing?
I'm Sofia Schugar and I spend time on my bicycle, a lot of time on my bicycle. And then the rest of the time running around. I'm very busy.
That's a pretty good description.
I'm very busy.
Right there.
Yeah.
Okay. Let's do a quick overview too of just like how you got into cycling, where you're at in life right now.
Ooh.
Yeah.
I'm feeling reborn right now. I got into cycling in college when I was doing triathlon, but the swimming did not come super naturally to me and the biking did. And then I had an altercation with the president of the triathlon team so that I couldn't be on the triathlon team anymore, but I still wanted to go to like a national collegiate level race. So then I went full in on cycling and I went to track nationals in 2019. And then I think from there on out, I thought I was going to do another triathlon. Like I still kept the dream alive and like swam it like a little bit and ran a bit, but I actually never did another triathlon and just started like riding my bike more and then kind of seriously racing it in like 2021 when I lived in Australia and they had a pretty accessible racing scene compared to America. And I'd say like most of what I learned about racing and got me interested in it, I learned in Australia. And then I've always had a dream of living and racing in Europe, and gravel kind of opened up that opportunity for me and gave me a little bit more purpose. So I'm here now, and like a bunch of other stuff happened between living in Australia and living in Europe. But like that's a nice, beautiful overview of it all. And here we are now in Europe racing, watching the level get higher and higher every year, trying to keep up with that level, getting the most out of myself and just enjoying the process, I think.
Wow, that was a beautiful overview. What was the initial draw to triathlon?
But the bike.
Okay.
I'm like, oh God, I gotta go get wet so I can ride my bike and then I have to run after, but the biking part is really nice. Like my friend took me on a bike ride and I immediately loved, like I was always curious about it too. I always thought it looked like the best way to enjoy life. And then my friend took me on a real ride outside and I was like, sign me up. And I guess maybe like the people on the triathlon team, sorry boys, if any of my friends from collegiate cycling is listening, but there was no other girl on the team. So I enjoyed triathlon because some of my best friends are from the triathlon team. I think that might have been what like initially took me into triathlon.
Wait, because where were you in school? Was it in San Diego?
Yeah, UCSD.
Okay.
UCSD. We love San Diego.
You do love San Diego. Yes.
Born and raised and college there and educated there.
I mean, I think the other thing too with that is like culturally, I feel like triathlon in San Diego is like where biking makes a lot of sense for a lot of people. And like, was there a gravel scene in San Diego at that time?
No.
I mean, is there a gravel scene in San Diego?
The gravel in San Diego is like linking up trails behind people's backyards and then like crossing a main road and then linking up in someone's backyard. But I feel like that is, you know, what people like to say the spirit of gravel. I think that's pretty much the spirit of gravel. I do know that we have a challenge this year where we're gonna try to bike from like the north of San Diego to downtown San Diego
All on
on
gravel?
as much gravel as we can, just as like a little challenge. So I think that'll be fun, and
That'll be fun.
we'll discover the gravel scene in San
I
Diego.
feel like there's some like kind of gnarly trails though. Like
There
I've
are.
mountain biked a bit and I haven't tried to gravel bike on those.
Yeah.
But I mean, I feel like there's some like dry, loose stuff that
Yeah, I think in San Diego you're always overbiked or underbiked because like sometimes it's like a mountain bike is way too much and sometimes a gravel bike is way too little. So you just gotta like sign up for what you want. And I think underbiking is quite fun. We actually used to do a woman's ride, like a woman's off-road ride between some girls in San Diego. And we would all just show up on whatever bike, like enduro mountain bike, gravel bike with 650 wheels and like a 54 tire, everything. And then we'd go ride some trails and we'd just be like, we're sending it. Like, it doesn't matter what bike you're on, like, we're all going to send this. So that was a nice time to learn a lot of skills, both under and over biking.
that is pretty fun. Yeah. Was that all through Team Best or was that before Team Best?
No, I used to do a lot of like girls. It was actually a trick. So I used to like host a lot of like women's oriented rides and then like plant the seeds in their head that they should ride with Team Best because it like seems a little scary when it's a bunch of fast dudes. And it actually worked. I think most of the girls that I tricked into riding off-road or like in a women's ride actually ended up joining Team Best and like brought a lot of more women into that community. And I think it's cool because a lot of people have gotten faster and really pushed their limits from what they thought was possible. But I think before I joined Team Best, which is a club in San Diego, that the female population was a little lower. So that
Mm-hmm.
was a nice goal.
Mm-hmm. Well, and what is the history of Team Best? Because were you a part of starting it or were
No.
okay.
Unfortunately, I've been in Spain this year, so I haven't helped as much. Except for
Yeah.
the big events at the beginning of the year, I helped a lot. A lot of new people wouldn't know me, but then I come back in the winter and I'm like, we're gonna do some psychotic stuff, and then they're like, oh my God, it's that girl who made the ride with all the
That's
steep
exactly
hills.
how I feel when I come back to Seattle with like my trail running group. Because I was like at a dinner last night and I was like, is anybody like I just bop in and out. Like I'm here and then I'm gone for a month and then I come back and I'm like, does anyone want to just go run 10,000 feet on Saturday? And people are like, what the heck? And then then I
This is
disappear and then I
cool.
come back and it's like, oh yeah, it's that girl that was
And for
doing
some
really
reason, they
psycho
want to
stuff.
do it. They're like,
Yeah.
yes, Gracie.
Well,
They're
if
like,
you
I
no, but you
do.
just it's simply tricking people into it where it's like, guys, it's so fun. Like you get to go eat donuts in between.
And it's gonna be us, 10,000 feet,
And
donuts.
it's
No,
gonna be so
yeah.
fun. Yeah.
We are those girls. I think
Yeah.
that's a good reputation to have. I get like the rogue text from my friends. They're like, we trespassed on our ride today. Thought of you, X. I'm like, oh my God, thanks. There is a loop in San Diego that I discovered that involves like heavily trespassing. And I like showed one person, then I showed another person, and then we're like having group rides on this loop. And now it's just like we casually like have to trespass to like do this ride. That's pretty funny. But yes, when I come back, I'm that guy who's like kind of scheming. But Team Best was actually started by this really friendly guy called Jason, and he is a San Diego local as well, and he has a really good heart, and I think just wanted to like boost the San Diego cycling community. And I think that it's a fast club that isn't like so serious about being fast, so it attracts a lot of people. And like you're kind of shunned if you don't stay for the social element. So it's like a very social club while you can still be fast, which I think is actually like pretty rare. I think that people don't tie performance to like fun all the time. And I think that they have like a really great balance, especially for people with full-time jobs that need like a community. And it's like not strictly a dating club like most run clubs I hear are. So we haven't had too many, best on best romances yet. Mine might be a product of best on best romance, but that might be the only one. We'll see. Yeah,
Oh my gosh. That's yep.
it's good. It's good. We don't keep it in the family. That's nice.
Yeah, well, and like, because there's weekly rides, and then you throw in some super fun ideas to like the Mount Soledad?
Yes, that was an idea. I didn't get to participate in it, but they did it without me, but that's fine. But they climbed it. The idea was like everyone's elevation counts. And then you all just go and we have this beautiful mountain. I think it's maybe 15 minutes of climbing max. But every rep you did contributed to the 1,000,000 feet in one day. And we had like 6 people Everest, which is crazy.
That
And
is
then
crazy.
I think 2,000,000 feet climbed or like something crazy, but it was just all day, a big party on Mount Soledad. I'm trying to think of another idea that we have done. We had an equinox challenge last year where the day before I went and hid some Easter eggs over San Diego and I gave people coordinates for the Easter eggs. And then you had to like make your own route and then get back to best as fast as possible. And that ended up being like 120 miles and like over 10,000 feet of elevation or something. I like found some of the steepest climbs that I could and put the eggs on top. And then that was nice because MAP, one of the brands that I work with for gravel privateering, handed out some free kit for the egg finders. So that was a very
that's
like
rad.
high motivation. Yeah, I think you can get anyone to do 120 miles if there's free kit on the line.
Oh, absolutely. I'm signed up for that next time.
Yeah, I think we need to do it again.
I need some new kit, so that'd be
Yeah.
perfect.
You need those like external motivators. Like people like they want to ride 120 miles, but like how bad, you know? So you're like, let's. And then if it's like a race, also gets people out there.
Oh, totally. Yeah, especially race through San Diego on your bike with a bunch of friends and free kit.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, that's fun stuff, and I feel like it's just fun to see too, like how, especially those communities and like are coming together and just like figuring out more fun ways to cycle and be social and all of the above. Yeah.
Yeah, just finding the balance between like a physical challenge, but also making it fun for everyone and like having people that might be on the fence, like finally jump in, I think is super important. And I mean, if I wanted to toot my own horn, in addition, I've done like a couple of like women's only focused events. So last year, a couple of us rode our bikes from San Diego to Arizona, which is 200 miles. And I'd say that that was like one of the best days of my life. I think the girls, it was one of their best days on a bike, but I'm biking every day, you know? So I actually put that day up there on a lifer because I think the whole time there's like no bad vibes. So also just like a challenge where you can push yourself to the absolute limit. 200 miles is crazy, but have a fun time the whole time is super special.
Also,
and
what was the route for that?
You go up, you go up into Julian, and then you descend into Borrego, and that's like Mars, you know? There's like nothing there.
It's super trippy
and then you
back
just
there.
get on the 8. Then you just get on the freeway, and then you ride the freeway until you get to Arizona.
You guys were just riding the 8? Oh my gosh.
We just rode the 8. You just get on the I-8. But we're just like screaming and having fun. And our goal was to make it before dark. And if we're honest, the boys did the same ride the week before. And a little bit was like to get there in less time than them. And I know our moving time or our elapsed time was like hours shorter than theirs. But it's also because we're girls. We don't fuck around. Like, we're going to do this and have fun. And we had no flats.
What's the town that you end in?
Yuma.
I'm like,
Yuma.
Okay. That makes sense. I'm like, at one point in life, El Centro, that's what I was thinking of. When I was living in San Diego.
Through? You're like,
I drove to El Centro for kicks and giggles. As one does, you know, when you're like looking at the map, and I feel like I do this on my bike too, but like you're just like, I have nothing going on this weekend. What should I do? And I was like, I've never been to El Centro. I bet they have really good tacos there.
Did they?
No, they actually didn't. I convinced like 3 of my roommates to just go drive to El Centro one afternoon, and we did, and yeah, it was pretty uneventful, quite honestly.
Uneventful. Yeah. I think there's a gas station there with
there's a gas station.
burritos.
There was a donut shop that was actually really good.
I'm getting the sense you like donuts.
I do like donuts. I know this is a yeah.
Wait,
today
this is
factor.
the third. This is the third donut mention today. Anytime
You're so
Gracie
right.
mentions donuts, take a shot.
But yeah, went there and then realized I probably don't need to do that again. But yeah, I mean, like drive that whole section of like going over the mountains and then like into the desert is really cool. Yeah.
It's spectacular. I think it's like underrated because you think the desert, there's nothing, but it's just so desolate that it is something, you know? So I
Yeah.
think that that's super special. And our ride this year actually kind of goes over there. So instead of the 200, I've convinced a group of girlfriends to do 150. I'm telling this again. 150 miles with 15,000 feet of elevation. We'll do 3 of like the biggest climbs in San Diego and just see if we can survive. But one of them, you go down the same descent that we would go to Arizona, which is banner grade. So
Okay. Is that the
there's,
backside plan?
yes,
Okay.
there's no feeling like ripping down that with like 6-year girlfriends. It's that's a feeling that you only get every once in a while where you're just absolutely ripping with your friends. Shit, I'm so excited.
What are the other 2 climbs?
So the first one is Mount Laguna, and you start in El Cajon, and then you go up to, I think it's called Mount Laguna, and you can like peak, and you're at a point where you're at like 6,000 feet, and on the left is like forest, and it's lush and trees and beautiful, but you're on the edge of the like basically a canyon. So on the left it's like that, and then on the right you're seeing down into Borrego, so it's like Mars on one side, lush on the other. Then you descend down Banner, you come up Montezuma, which is like from Borrego Springs and leads you to like Henshaw. I think that's like 4,500 feet, and then we'll go up the whatever south grade of Palomar, which is like a little bit shorter, and then we'll go down Palomar, and then our boyfriends will pick us up. They don't know about that part yet, and I haven't confirmed with them, but you know.
Surprise! That's perfect.
I don't know what. I hope you're not busy on November 23rd or whenever.
Yeah, no, those will be good. And
I'm very
so
excited.
stunning.
3 opportunities for sick descents with the girls. That's all that matters.
This is true. Man, now I like want to come. This is the problem I have.
You should come.
I know, but when you have like, you probably feel this too. When you have like community in like 7 different cities, well, I feel like I'm at like 4 right now. Like 4 that I'm like really emotionally invested in. And then it's like, oh, we're doing this thing on Wednesday night, and you're like, wait, I could just like fly there. I could just be there. And then it's fun, but yeah, you always feel like you're having FOMO. Yeah.
I never want to leave. Whenever I'm in San Diego, I never want to go to Girona. When I'm in Girona, I never want to go to San Diego. And I'd also just love a crossover episode where all my friends could meet each other. Yeah. And it would be chaotic, you know?
Yeah,
That's my dream.
How are you splitting, like, how have you split this last year between Girona and San Diego? And, like, how are you looking at it for this next year, too?
I think that the balance has actually been super manageable.
Yeah.
So I will probably do something quite similar. And also the weather in San Diego in the winter is unbeatable. So either November, December through March in SoCal, and then 1 month in Spain because there's the hills, which is an awesome gravel race in Italy that I must do, and then a couple UCI races.
Do you know what the date for the hills is yet?
It's the 29th of March.
Okay, fantastic.
That's what I heard from Sarah. Okay. Which is like, you can't miss it because the after rave is peak.
I know, this is what I've heard.
And then April in America for Redlands, Sea Otter, second best event on the calendar, or maybe the best, I don't know. And Redlands, Sea Otter, whatever else is that month, and then back for the Traca. And then we have European summer, which is just a bunch of UCI races. I won't do the America like Unbound block yet. I'm thinking like maybe one year when I'm only racing in America, I'll do that. But I'm enjoying the UCI races, and then pretty much here until October, and then that's the cycle.
That's the calendar.
It's the calendar. It's really interesting. Just it is interesting balancing that, but I'm super fortunate for the time that I get to build and invest in the different communities. Every year it gets like more international, which is really cool. So I can have friends visit me from all over the world, or like if I'm in another country, I can ask someone to go on a ride or get a coffee. And I think that that's one of the most spectacular parts about cycling. Might be
Yeah.
why I'm here. Racing who, I'm just kidding.
Well, and what was like when you jumped into the gravel world, what was the first race that you did and like had success with that it was like, okay, I can like make a life out of this?
First, I did a race called Gravel and Wine in San Diego, and I liked it and I won, but it's like the local race. Then BWR San Diego is pretty popular, and that was my second gravel race, and I think I got 15th. And then everyone was like, no, that's good. I don't know if it's good. I don't know if I'd still enjoy that result. I don't know. But I was like, at the time, I'm like, I really like this. Like, I think I can keep going. And then I actually just kind of came over here in 2023 just to see what the racing was like. And then I got top 10 at Traka. And I think last year,
Okay.
no, 2024.
That was 2020.
Last year. Yeah, 2024.
Got it.
So the BWR San Diego was 2022. 2023, I was just doing road, but I was really curious about the gravel things, I think in 2023 as well. And then I did Traka, got top 10, and that's when I was like, okay, I belong here. So that's actually a really long time, damn. But I think that was like the first race where it was like, oh, I think I can be competitive. And I like just looked around me and I'm like, these are people that I've looked up to the last year and a half, and I'm like, okay, and now I'm racing them. How much more can I do? But I feel like that was like probably the moment in time where I was like, I think I can make this a career.
Well, and at that point, were you spending time living in Girona as well for that Traka? Was that like one of the first blocks in Spain?
Yeah. So my boyfriend's job wanted him to move to Texas. And we went there and we were like, no. Anyways, maybe not. And then we were like, why don't, so like, we were like, looked at it financially and we were like, I wanted to race. He wanted to take like a sabbatical from work. So we looked at it. We had friends in Girona. So we actually just kind of like moved to Girona to like live in Europe and have friends. And then we're both super competitive people. So then it turned into like, let's race a full calendar. So it was like definitely on my own accord that I decided to like come, or on mine and my partner's accord, that we were like, yeah, let's go try living in Europe and then also try this racing thing. And I think last year went pretty well, which was with like the Traka top 10, and then the Gravel Earth Series final, I like wrote out of my mind. It was like the last race of the year and I like had improved a lot more than I expected. So then last minute last year, I thought I wasn't going to race anymore, or like super competitively, and I was going to go back to San Diego. But then MAP reached out to me with a cool opportunity to be on their pro forward team, which is little known, but I used that opportunity to come and race the same calendar this year. And it wasn't as great, just dealing with being a woman this year. Like that kind of factored into my performance. But
dive into more on that.
Dive into more on that. I don't think only women are going to listen to this podcast. I stopped birth control.
Okay.
Let's lay it out there. I stopped birth control, and I feel like when you stop birth control, everyone's like, the butterflies, rainbows.
Yeah.
The whole world is your oyster now. And then I stopped birth control, and there was no butterflies and rainbows, and I gained weight, which you're supposed to lose weight. My skin started breaking out. I stopped being able to lose weight. I got fatigued, and then it's just like, first of all, getting a doctor that will like listen to you is crazy, because I went to my doctor in America and I told him all of these things. And he told me to eat almonds. He was like, you should eat almonds. He's like, eat almonds and only eat when you're hungry. Don't eat because it's meal times. I'm like, okay, cool. Yes, king. But also, can we get a blood test so I can see if there's something with my hormones? He orders me the blood test, doesn't order a hormone panel. I'm like, okay. Maybe he wasn't listening. I'm going to go to a doctor in Spain. I went to the doctor in Spain, and he's like, Have you heard of PMSing? What? He's like, it sounds like you're PMSing. I was like, oh Christ.
You're like, right,
What?
I'm apparently PMSing the entire year then.
I'm PMSing so much. This is insane. I'm like, you're right. Oh my God. It's me. And he's like, just go back on birth control. But I'm so stubborn and like,
What birth control were you on?
I was on the pill. And it took me a long time to figure out which one was correct for me. But I'm like, if I am having these issues now, if I have to stop taking birth control down the line, I'm going to have the issues later. So why don't I use my time and resources to figure it out now? And it's still something I'm working on that. Working with a diet nutritionist. But it is a process. I can't say I have an answer, but I can say that after the 2 weeks of off season, I'm feeling a lot better. So I'm hoping that trend progresses. And maybe I was like overtraining and needed to give my hormones some time to reset. But I don't have any answers, but I do have the anecdote for people who are like also getting off of birth control or just being a woman endurance athlete that like, yeah, it's hard. And yes, sometimes your doctors aren't listening to you and their best advice is eat almonds and stop PMSing. So it's real.
Yeah.
Gracie's like, that would be crazy.
No, I mean, yeah, it's crazy. And like, I mean, like, even like for me, like I used to get so pissed off because like my normal doctor was like the exact same thing of just like, that's the conversation as a whole. There's no further conversation. And like my whole background is like nutrition, integrative wellness. Like how do you look at somebody as a whole and figure out like what the heck is going on? And I'm also exceptionally stubborn and hate being told what to do. And so I ended up like switching it to a naturopath. And like that's the first time that I feel like I've ever actually been able to be like, hey, like here's what I want. Like let's talk through it and like let's do a blood panel, look at everything, try and figure things out from like the bottom up rather than just like blanket push things on you.
Yeah.
But
like go back on birth control. I'm like,
like,
motherfucker,
no,
I
that's the whole
stopped it for a
point.
reason.
Yes, that's the whole point. But yeah, I mean, like it takes the body, and that's the thing. It's like it takes the woman's body so long to just like recalibrate and figure out what's going on.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I think a lot of the time we're told that like, oh, those are not side effects. But if Reddit is correct, there's a lot of side effects.
Right.
And there's like other women that I think have had like the opposite of what we're told happens when you go off of birth control, which is like weight loss and like, I mean, acne comes back, but sometimes your period gets worse. Sometimes it can still disappear off of birth control. And it's just like understanding everybody's body is different and working with someone who doesn't just give you a blanket opinion. But I think in some places we're not up to speed yet. So finding someone to work with. I've been hearing like naturopath is the way to go because they're happy to like find it.
They actually like
look into
they actually talk to you. It's really nice. Yeah. It's sick when they don't just.
It's crazy. I think being told to eat almonds was crazy.
That's why.
They're like everyone makes fun of almond moms. I'm like, this is almond mom final boss. This is almond doctor. He's
almond
like
doctor.
Almond doctor. He's like, eat them as a snack. Actually, but he did touch on one thing. He's like, these almonds are fortified with vitamin D. You might not be getting enough. And this is before my blood panel. And also, he didn't even test my vitamin D. But I got a blood panel later in the year, and my vitamin D was low. So I'm like, okay, he was onto something with the almonds.
Well, I mean, but also like, why not recommend like seeds? You know, it's like you could do like pumpkin seeds, you could do sunflower seeds, like, and those things actually also start like helping your hormones like get back to normal and assist them. And almonds, no, almonds they don't have any of that. So that's just funny. But yeah, I mean that definitely. Yeah, that definitely takes the. I know he needs to get educated.
He's the type of guy that's probably like, oh my God, I don't want to slander him. He's the type of guy that's like, seeds, that's food for birds. Why would he? And I'm like, your doctor can be that guy, you know? Like doctors can be that guy. Seeds?
I know.
You're eating bird food? No.
Yeah. Well, I feel like it goes into the theme too of like you also just have to remember that like people are just people, regardless of what their job title is. People are just people. I often
Almond's
have to
doctor, almond mom,
same
same,
same.
same. It exists.
Yeah. Yeah. But
Man who
anyways,
thinks it's
that
PMS,
throws
it's all
it,
PMS.
it's everything is PMS. The whole world is just PMS. Yeah. That's gnarly though. That definitely throws curveball in the year of just like everything else. And I mean like I feel like that's one of those things too where it's like it's just the undertone of like even if you're like okay, I feel like I have my training dialed in and I'm excited and then it's just like you have this like thing going on in the back of your head but like of like okay, but there's this underlying thing. So, yeah.
And it's a
Yeah.
mystery.
And it's
I have
mystery.
time to work on it in the off season.
Yeah. There we go. What did you feel like after the 2024 season when you were like on the fence about not going into the 2025 season? What was it really kind of like the map opportunity that pushed you into this year?
Oh no, it was like a hard pill to swallow. I
Okay.
just thought like if I don't have anyone supporting me, what am I doing against like
Yeah.
trying to even race, like looking for that external validation for like a bit, just because you're surrounded by the greatest people and that's what their plan looks like. So
Mm-hmm.
just it was like a tough pill to swallow. And then I'm like, I guess I mean, I wasn't gonna like fully quit, but I was just like, okay, I'll race in America and like pare down the calendar a bit.
Mm-hmm.
But then when I have the extra support too, like financially is huge to be able to race a nice calendar that I'm excited about. So, I mean, I was kind of like negatively wrapping my head around it. I'm like, okay, you're gonna have to do these things to like make biking acceptable. But then this came through and I love MAP. They're like my day ones, you know? So I think it just gave me the extra leg to stand on and have another season of bike racing. And I think next year a few more people have hopped on the train, and it's just really nice that there's people who want to see me do well. And I don't even think sometimes I'm not even thinking that they like care if I win. They're just like, we want to see her do well for like because she's cool. Thanks, guys. But I mean, it would mean everything for me if I could like give a win to the people that are, there for me, including my team in San Diego and my team in Girona. So, I mean, hopefully we have that opportunity next year. That's how I'm feeling this year. I can tell you at Worlds, which was my last year race, this year I was like, I cannot wait to get off my fucking bike. I was like, that was long. My
It's a long
body's not the body
season.
that it is. Yeah. And I was just like,
Yeah.
I need to reset. Like, I wasn't like so excited to like not ride my bike. I was like more excited for the fresh start, which I'm
Mm.
like slowly ramping into now and making my plan for next year. But I'm like excited for it feels like a clean slate, and that like, to be a good athlete, I think you have to be kind of dumb, and like forget the last bad race or forget the last bad workout, and just like a lot of optimism goes a long way in the sport. I think some of like my role models are some of the most like self-confident, optimistic people. I don't know anyone who goes into a race and doesn't say, I'm going to win this race and win. Like, I mean, sometimes they don't win, but I don't think you can win the race unless you're like, I'm going to win.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So I'm trying to carry that blind optimism forward, and like, I'm ready to get after this year. Even though we're a long
Love
way
to
out.
hear
We're a
it.
long way out.
Thank goodness we're a long way out. We need that down season.
We do. We do need the 6 hour elapsed time bike ride to the beach, eating cake in the sand rides to
Exactly.
survive.
Yes. How did you kind of land on focusing more on the European bike racing scene rather than like doing some of the more classic like Americas ones? When I say classic Americas ones though, I'm like I don't even know which ones I'm talking about. I'm like there's like
It
Lifetime.
is different.
Yeah.
It is different. I honestly think I would be better at an American race. Like they're longer and usually more technical, whereas in Europe, like a UCI race is shorter and harder, raced harder a little bit. I mean, I can't say because I haven't done too many American races, but from the outside view, that's kind of what I see. But financially it's a lot easier to race in Europe. I think I spend like a third on a European race than what I would on an American race. And if you're a
Oh,
privateer, which essentially I am, where I have to go find my own sponsors and negotiate with them myself, it's a lot harder,
yeah.
I think, to afford races, because like, yeah, I'm not super, super well supported, but I want what I have to go a long way. And Europe is a lot more financially feasible. So I think and I want to get like as much in as I can now while I'm like young and new and like ready to learn. And then I think maybe next year I'll go back to America and focus on like a smaller calendar, but like racing at a
Mm-hmm.
higher level and spending budget that way. But I'd say most of what keeps me in the European races is budget.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. No, that's interesting. And I mean, like, I don't think I even realized how horribly expensive it is and like challenging to get into some of the US races until I was like at Big Sugar and we were talking a bit about that. And I was just like, they make it so hard for elites to get in unless you were in that Grand Prix. Like, did not realize that. So,
Oh yeah, and the races itself themselves are like $250. What? Like you're up 80 and I'm signing
yeah.
up really late and it's like 80 euros, so or less. And then also that comes with like insurance, which is free healthcare. So
Ah,
it's
yes.
different, you know. That's another podcast, not this one. But there's just a lot, there's like a safety net and it's like part of the culture. Also training here is fantastic. There's
Mm-hmm.
not drivers that want to kill you. So it's just like it's like when you go to like a specific college for a specific major, like you're like, I want to do neuroscience, so I'm going to go to UCSD. I'm like, I want to be a cyclist, so I'm going to Europe. And I'm really fortunate to have that opportunity.
Yeah. When you were in Australia, was that 2022 or 2023? When was
20,
the
2020 to 2019 to 2021.
Okay.
COVID.
Okay. How did you end up in Australia?
Guys, I had a boyfriend who was Australian. And I
See,
like went
this
to
is
UCSD. I needed to leave the
yeah.
country. I've always
Mm-hmm.
wanted to like go live somewhere else. So 2 years in Australia it was during COVID too. My parents were like, come home. And I was like, I don't think it's a good idea.
How was the Australian shutdown though?
Okay, it
That
looked really
sounded
bad.
okay.
It looked bad, but they like it was like every Tuesday they let us out, you know? The rules were super funny and arbitrary and they would like change they'd be like you can go to the bar, but no dancing. They're like, you can stand from
But
7
no,
to 10, but after 10 o'clock you have to sit. And I'm like, oh my God, I feel so safe from COVID. Um, but they like really locked it down, and then they would do like lockdowns of like different states and stuff, but I still like rode my bike, traveled and raced because for the most part
okay.
everything was open, that just the borders to the rest of the world were super shut. Super interesting that they like kept the islands safe from all COVID. But then they like
Yeah.
gave 12 people the vaccine. They're like, we have the vaccine now. And then they opened it and
Mm-hmm.
then it was the worst in the world. But I left right before
Mm-hmm.
that.
Okay.
But
Got
I
it.
feel like I think I was patient zero at one point in Australia.
Mm-hmm.
I was really sick for like 2 weeks. I was like, I think that was COVID. Patient zero. It was like February 2019. Can we believe that that was 6 years ago?
No,
Oh,
that's
sorry,
insane.
2020,
Five,
5 years ago.
2020, 5 years ago? No, I mean,
Yeah,
yeah,
wow.
it's about to be 6 years ago though. That's insane. Yeah. So
Now I feel
then were
old.
you like but all of the racing was still going on while you were there. So was that kind of like, because had you been doing a lot of racing before Australia? You were kind of saying it was almost like kind of like not training camp, but like you learn a lot there.
The racing was like pretty much still on. I'd done
Yeah.
like 2 or 3 bike races in America before going to Australia. But the cool thing is, hopefully no Australians listen to this because I don't know how much they like their racing scene, but I think it's awesome. In Australia, they have like crit tracks that they build into like public parks. So it'll be like a playground for children, and then there's like a crit track around the playground for children. And then because it's like not a main road and they don't need to shut anything down, you can race a crit any night of the week. Like there's a race on every single night of the week. So I did those, and then they had like
Mm-hmm.
national level races, and I had no idea tactics. They said I would just like launch a flyer and then get dropped because I was like, no idea what was going on. No one's coaching me through that. And then they had like state handicaps, which was like this is what I think helped me with gravel the most is they did these state handicaps where there'd be like a scratch group, and I forget what the name of the fastest group was, but they send each group off, and the groups are supposed to like catch each other, and then like the lead group is like the lead group, and that's who wins. So but that is like from the gun, you're going as hard as you can and like rotating, which is like the style that gravel is. And I really enjoyed the state handicaps, and I did so many of them that I think that like translated into the gravel racing really well. But yeah, they had just a lot of opportunities for racing. Some of the crit tracks, so freaking sketchy, but I just like, wasn't thinking about that. I was just like, I want to win. Or be the best woman, because it was also like mixed genders every race. So you're like really learning how to hold wheels, how to ride technically. And I think it was things that I took for granted. No one was like telling me that I'm like learning these things, but I think then I came to America and started racing, and it was like wide open roads, like a little less technical crit courses, a little easier like tactics wise. So I think that like without being conscious of it, I learned a lot about racing in Australia.
No, that makes a lot of sense. And I mean, that's kind of like throwing you into the deep end in like an slightly different scene, but like all of that carries over so wonderfully.
Yeah. And I think that they have something similar to that in Europe. And I see like at the professional level, I feel like there's a lot more Australians than Americans, because it's just like the racing opportunities in America are getting like smaller and smaller. So it's like a big deal when you go do like 2 crit races in a weekend, where it's like I was having the opportunity to race Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Saturday, and I was always there and loving
Wow.
it. Yeah, it was really cool. Good vibes. Good vibes.
Did you ever think about staying in Australia for longer?
I lived in Sydney, and as much as I love that racing, the riding, like the training rides, maybe one of the worst places if you don't like crits. And genuinely, I was looking at the gravel scene, which was taking off in America. Like, I would move to Australia again now, but I was looking at the gravel scene taking off in America, and I was like, that seems like what I want to do. I'm like, it's long, it's an adventure. I love riding long. I love adventures. And it was when it was more like adventure geared versus performance
That's what
geared,
I
I
was
think.
just gonna ask. Yeah.
Yeah.
What
It looked
what were
more
some
fun.
of what were some of those races or like people in the scene that were kind of like pushing you forward with that?
Honestly, when Amity won
Yeah.
Unbound, I
Yeah.
think that the next year every girl showed up. So I
Yeah.
was like, and I don't know if she knows. I think I told her a few times. I'm like, you won that, and then everyone signed up, and then you went and won the Trucka, and then everybody signed up. I'm like, hot bitch had to do it first, and like here we are now, and we're all trying to do it. But like, I'm like, good on you. Get paid, girl. So I think that was like one of the moments. I've always looked up to like Sarah Sturm as well. She's just like a girl after my own heart, and she's like that in real life too. And I feel like, oh my God, okay, I'm like such a fangirl. Sarah won like the crit at Sea Otter on her Crux with road tires on, and I thought that was one of the fucking coolest things ever. So I think just like the girls that are approachable and funny and like kind and independent like inspired me, because I'm like, oh, I see myself in them a little bit more than I see myself in a road racer, even though I know road racers now and they're all also wonderful and really strong women, but I just could see myself doing it. So I actually was like, I'm leaving Australia and going back to America to see how I can try gravel. And then just like stuck my nose in the right places and found some opportunities.
Because what were some of the first things that you did race when you got back?
I raced one race in San Diego called Gravel and Wine on a borrowed gravel bike, and then
Okay,
the
so it was like
BWR
really
California.
Okay, so it was really the like Australia to then like jump into it. I see.
Yeah, I was like, I'm gonna figure out how to do it, and I just kind of like complained around the right people about not having a gravel bike. I was like, oh, I would do it, I just don't have a bike, and then they let me borrow the bikes. And I raced some races on it. And then finally I was like, okay, time to get my own bike. And then, yeah, it went from there. I did, yeah. And that, yeah, I had a lot of help. Like a lot of, like I did BWR North Carolina one year, and they like flew me out because I helped with like setting up the race. Like I worked, and then they're like, yeah, you can come, but you have to work. So I would do like fly to the race, work on the race for like the week leading up to the race, and then do the race, and just like would still do pretty well. But I would just like take any opportunity. I was so scrappy. That year I also like last minute someone was like, we need another person for 24 hours in the Old Pueblo, which is like a 24-hour mountain bike race in Arizona. And it was like last minute. And they were like, we thought we'd ask you because we knew you would say yes. And I was like, obviously. So I did like the 24-hour mountain bike relay, which is like, you know, gravel vein. So it was just like people knew what I wanted, and there was like enough lovely people in the community to get like help me push me into those opportunities. So I think that was a really fun year of racing. I got to do a lot of cool things in 2022. But then I had iliac artery endofibrosis, which is where your artery is like blood doesn't go to your leg. So I was doing okay. Also, I'm like doing pretty well that year, but my leg is hurting a lot, and I knew I had it from like the beginning of the year, like March or April, but I still raced the whole year. And then at the end of the season, I got surgery. So I started like 2023 coming back, and then 2024 felt my legs under myself again.
Got it. Okay.
That was a little wrench in the works, but
what was the recovery like on that?
I did like 10 weeks where I didn't raise my heart rate above 110. So horrible.
Whoa.
I was having like a crisis. Well, at first I was like, la la, I like walking. And then, but I was like so strict about it because also made the mistake of joining a Facebook group where everyone in the Facebook group is like obviously only posting like the worst experiences.
Yes.
And I'm like, okay, so I'm going to be like really conservative because I don't want to like undo the surgery, which has happened to people before. So that's terrifying. But 10 weeks of like nothing, and then I got back on my bike, and I'm like, oh my God, this is so hard. How am I ever gonna come back from it? And then training a little bit, and then I'm like cleared to like go full gas. And then I think I raced every weekend of like 2023 because I was
oh my gosh,
I can do this now.
Yeah, that's how it goes sometimes, though. Especially after coming back from injury, when it's like you've been not able to do the thing that you love for so long and then just jump into it. But it's cool, too. I feel like with the whole 2022 year as well, just like when you throw things out into the world of like, okay, I'm like interested in this, it's just like amazing to see how people come around you and just like everything. Like once you throw it out there, it's like the ball's just rolling. Like things are going to start happening. Yeah.
But you have to do it. I think like a lot of people will wait for someone to come to them, but they're not putting what they want out into the world. And I think no one can read minds, and that can be perceived as like you're not wanting it. So I think that was like a really valuable lesson where it's like if you're vocal and communicative about what you want, putting it out into the world, that sometimes that's like the only way to make things happen. So I think it's part the world and what you're putting into it that's going to get you in the direction you want to go. Hopefully, more opportunities for that in 2026. What do I want?
It's hard though, because it's like, I don't know, I feel like I don't know, it's like when you're interested in a lot of different things too, and like I can see this even like in the bike world too. It's like, you know, there's so many different ways that you could go. And then it's like, yeah, I could be interested in all of them. Do I like make it really specific and just reach out and talk to people in this realm, or do you just start throwing the blanket out to everything? And it's like you do kind of just have to throw the blanket out to everything and just see what happens, and also just try and fail and try and fail and try and fail to an extent. And then forget that the failing happened, and then you wake up the next day.
Yeah. Remember the lesson, forget the failure. Yeah, dumb optimism.
Exactly.
Go for it. You're like, oh my God, I learned.
Yeah. What from this year because you did a couple of, what was the trip that you and Allison did? Was it like in Ireland?
Portugal.
Or did I? It was Portugal. Yeah, that's not Ireland. But for some reason in my head, I'm like, they kind of resemble one another, except not at all.
Small countries.
Yes, small countries. Yeah.
Yeah, we biked across Ireland. I don't know if I have any, or Ireland. I just did it.
I just brainwashed you right there.
Probably got Mandela affected. We biked across Portugal. That was psychotic. Everyone else is doing gravel burn right now, and I don't feel any FOMO. I was like,
That's
maybe
good.
an adventure, no FOMO. I have not planned the adventure yet, but I know it will come. Like, I'm not worried. I have nothing planned. My friends asked me to do something, but we haven't fully planned it yet. They're both doing gravel burn right now, so I don't want to like jinx it.
Yeah.
We might go across the Canary Islands, but TBD after they finish gravel burn, because that looks fucking brutal.
Yeah. This is a really dumb question about gravel burn, but like with these stage races that are kind of coming out, I've also just been shocked, like the media on gravel burn is pretty good in comparison to, like, it seems like it's really good.
It's
but
like
are
a
they
TV.
Yes, it is.
TV show.
So are they trying to make it like a really hardcore, like kind of take road race, stage racing and make it gravel? Like, I'm like, I think no matter what, like it is to a certain extent, but like, I don't know. It seems like with gravel burn, it's like, for some reason, it seems to be like hitting a slightly different note for me.
Yeah, I mean, good on the media coverage. I think, okay, well, this is like, I think we're getting into like what is going to be the big thing in the coming years, because things have changed. I don't want to keep watching races in Iowa. You know, we need it to change more. Let's like not make the classic gravel races in the middle of Kansas, you know? I think that the stage races are going to be bigger because we have Oregon Trail, gravel burn, safari, or is it safari or
migration?
Is it migration?
Yes, migration.
And I'm sure that there's like some secret one that the cream of the crop cycling gravel athletes, influencers have been invited to. Oh, there's also Sahara in the beginning of February, but like we're seeing that emerge.
Right. Yeah,
and I think the opportunity there, once it's affordable for racers, is like it can cater towards a different rider. So I think people are gonna like roll the dice a little bit and go to those races in hopes of winning. I don't think they're gonna try to make it like road. I think they're still doing like a lot more storytelling with those races. And then I also think that a trend for 2026 will be marathon mountain biking. I think it's gonna come back.
Okay, what makes you say that?
I'm interested. And I'm like, usually my finger is close to the pulse. And I think it's just I think people are getting like
I agree.
Bored.
I fully agree with you. My predictions, now we're just going into gravel predictions.
Gravel predictions. This is a boys podcast now. Yeah. Gravel predictions for 2026. Dylan Johnson is going to train 35 hours a week. Like this is what the boys want.
But I mean, you're so right. Like, people, I feel like, are just getting so upset with like the boringness of it. And I agree with you. I think mountain biking is going to become so cool again. And also maybe a little bit of cyclocross, because I feel like I just hear a lot of people just being like,
I want to get into it.
I want to not be doing gravel. I do want to be mountain biking, and I do want to be cyclocrossing. And I'm like, I fully agree with you, because mountain biking in Switzerland is so much cooler than biking in Kansas. Yes.
Exactly.
Unfortunately, they did just put a lot more money into that, so that's a bit of a bummer.
To biking in Kansas, you're right.
They put like a shit ton more money into biking in Kansas, which I don't know. We'll see how that one plays out, but
I think it's the interesting thing is I think we're at a point where the races have to decide what kind of race they want to be. If they want to be for athletes or if they want to be for the general public, because I think races can make their money from advertising, or races can make their money from entries, and they can do both. But I think if they want to do one really well, they definitely sacrifice the other. Like the circuit format of Worlds for an athlete, I actually really enjoyed it because I'm there to race. I still like my adventure races, but like the circuit format in a race format is awesome, but and it's easily televised, so you can get like the advertising dollars. But something that's like longer, 200 miles, 150 miles, harder to televise, not as interesting for people to watch, but that's something where you're going to get a lot of the general public to sign up for it. So I think a lot of races are going to start deciding how to go about that. Like, do I want to attract more athletes, or do I want to attract more general public? So it'll be interesting to see what kind of races do that and what races can successfully make the change. But I think that we're going to start seeing more circuits in gravel races for the elites, and then the elites racing maybe less of those long, not fast races, or cornfield races. I don't know.
So are you going to be signing up for any marathon mountain bike races?
I need a mountain bike first.
We're putting that on the world. Yeah.
We're putting that on the world. Don't worry, I told my bike sponsor, I was like, I need a mountain bike.
Yes, so, I also need a mountain bike. So
as soon as I get the mountain bike, but also I just need to like keep it upright. I'm like, maybe this off season, if I get a mountain bike, I can learn how to jump it. I'm like, off season brain, jump the bike. During season brain, it's like,
don't crash the bike.
During season brain, it's like, keep the wheels on the ground, girl.
You should come up to Washington for a mountain bike.
Ooh, I'm in.
Good mountain biking.
I'm in.
Yeah.
Can we jump them?
We could maybe jump them. My history of jumping and crashing is unfortunately pretty high. But yeah, it's a work in progress, you know. That can be my 2026 goal. Jump the bike.
Jump the bike.
Yeah,
my 2026 goal too.
Yeah. No, that would be rad. But I mean, I would be so excited to see, a lot more visually exciting races happening, and
or tactically.
Jumping. We'll see. Tactically. Yeah, just more excitement.
Jumping. I want to see more jumping. Well, don't worry. One of my goals every year is to descend with more swag. I'm like, I don't care. I don't care if it's faster. I just want more swag. I just want it to look sick. So I'm working on it for you.
Love it. Yeah. Okay, wrapping up here a little bit. What are Gracie's favorite end of podcast questions? If you could give yourself any advice from like 5 years ago, which is like COVID still kind of technically.
Go give my COVID person advice.
COVID self advice. What would it be?
Actually, I feel like she could give me better advice. I feel like she was a lot cooler. I loved being not knowing anything. I guess like one advice I'd be like, don't attack in the first 2 hours of the race, so that you can like not blow yourself up and stay in the race. Like you're not Annemiek van Vleuten. Like that's not, but no one told me that. And then no, I wouldn't. I want advice from her, honestly. I think I like where I'm at now, and she did all that. So I want to know, like, I would do anything to revert to my old brain where I was like truly blindly optimistic and did not know about getting my ass kicked. So thank you for 5 years ago, Sophia. You made the right choices. I'm actually gonna go back to her and be like, keep going. Don't change anything.
Yeah.
Double down. You made all the right choices.
There we go. That's the advice right there. Do you have any other things to leave people on today?
I hope that they learned some valuable things. We talked about everything from like periods
I know.
to like
I feel like this was a good
manifestation. Like it was a true girls chat today.
I know. This is good stuff.
What do I want to give it? I'm hoping my audience is mostly women. And I just wanted to tell all the girls out there, not that I wouldn't tell this to some guys, but I think you can do it. Like go join the group. Yeah, just for like any woman. Like you'll find your people, you'll find your speed, but like take the steps and don't be scared, because you don't know where the journey of bikes is going to take you. Girls only though.
Yep. Only girls advice. Okay, where can people find you upon Instagram or the internet? I always forget to ask this.
I'm going to start a WordPress, so stay tuned.
Okay. Why WordPress over Substack?
Okay, maybe it's gonna be Substack. Okay. Thanks, Gracie.
Sick. Yeah,
which
you're welcome.
one's better? I need to know which one's better.
Substack's
Substack?
easier because it emails people like really directly and mildly aggressively every time that you post something.
Okay.
So it's like it's better, and it's also it creates you its own little like you create a website through Substack, and it just makes it really easy. Yeah.
Okay,
And
great.
everybody's
So
already
that's
on
it.
Substack, so then they don't have to go to an external website, which is great.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, Substack it is. I'm going to
Substack
make a
coming soon.
Substack to just talk about things like bike packing, where to get good coffee, more
Beautiful.
period stuff, just
Fantastic.
thoughts because I'm the video content really I feel like a boomer when I do it. So I'm like we're going to go for writing because that's what I've always liked. So find me there soon. After
Okay.
off season.
Perfect. After
When
off
I have more
season,
time.
Sofia's
After off
Substack.
season.
Thanks so much for tuning in today. I hope that you enjoyed today's episode. Stay tuned for all things Wander at Wander Studios on Instagram, or check out our website. You can also find us on YouTube, although we pretty much just post the same podcast there. And yeah, you can find us on Instagram. You can find us anywhere else. So hope that everybody has a lovely rest of their week, and see you next time.